In my video that I posted yesterday, I shared how I was going to use up some of the scrap bits and pieces that I had sitting on my desk. And those scraps were using some of the More Dazzle specialty paper from Stampin' Up, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I made dragonflies with them. This is the card that I made yesterday, so if you've missed that, the link will be in the description below. And I'm excited to get started because I am going to show you one of my favorite fun fold cards. It's really easy, so let's start stamping. My desk still has scrap bits from yesterday's card, but I had shown you, like I just showed in my introduction, this card that I made. I love this card. I think it's so pretty. So the second card that I'm going to make using this embellishment that I made with the scrap bits, everything on this card, well, except for the DSPs, pretty much bits and pieces that have been sitting on my desk. So I am going to use my daisy paper here and another piece of basic black cardstock. So today's card is going to be landscape. Now I did have this second card base from yesterday's card. I'll use that for another one, but today's card I want it to be landscape, and what I should say is instead of the fold being along this end, I want the fold to be along this end right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to score this at 5.5. along the 11-inch side, turn it around and cut it at 4.25. Okay. So my fold is here versus my fold being here, okay? So let me get my bone folder, give that a good score. I have demonstrated this card in a video before, and I'll put the link for that down below. It is one of my favorite card folds, and it's just so darn easy. Okay, I'm gonna open this up, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line up this end at the 2 inches, and I'm gonna cut down to the center score line. We're gonna remove that top panel. So go right down to that score line, turn it around, and from that 5.5 center mark, I'm going to cut down to that 2-inch mark that I just cut. Are we there? Did we get it? I think so. Let's do that again. There we go. Okay. Easy. So while we have the trimmer out, I'm going to cut some DSP. So I'm going to cut this out here. And I'm lining it up at the 4-inch mark. So I'm just going to trim that down right to where that ends. Flip it around. Let's do this way. I'm just going to cut that out. I'm not sure what that measures, because again, stamping on the fly. Well, let's see what that measures. I might have to cut it at 3 3/4. I want it to be 5 1/4. Oh, it is! Stampin' Up rocks. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. Okay, I'm going to use this paper for my front flap, this flap right here. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this one at the 2 1/8. And what's left over I'll use for another card. As you know, by now nothing goes to waste. Okay. And now I'm going to do the 5 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see how that works. Pretty darn good. All right, let's get that stuck on. Such a quick and simple card to make, and it's just a nice change from our regular cards that we make. Right now, this piece is going to go right in here like so. Now, because I had made this on a piece of scrap real red, I'm going to punch out another dragonfly with my black, and I'm going to glue this behind because I don't want any of that red to really show. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on this guy. And just line that right up on top. And there's actually quite a bit of dimension on this dragonfly because it's got the red, it's got that thick glimmer paper. So it's kind of cool to have that extra thickness on this. Okay, I'm gonna just bend that up a bit. And all I'm gonna do is glue this onto my front flap. I'm not gonna put any glue on the head because that's gonna go above this flap. And I don't want glue getting on the flap behind it, right? So also left over from yesterday's card was this little bit left over from my die cut. And this was still left over from my little scrap stash. So I want, because I have so much glitter here, I want to tie in some glitter. So I think I'm going to put a sentiment up here with that glitter behind it. So I'm going to flag this first of all. So I'm just going to go, you know what? I'm just going to go on a diagonal for a change and just do it that way. And I might not need it as long because I don't even know what sentiment I'm going to put on this yet. But I do know I want to put that little tiny scrap left over here. So I'm going to bring in my silicone mat and set that down. Put this on it. Whoops, let's go this way. And just kind of line it up so we have a little bit of a fun scallop showing. Let me kind of pull that up so you can see what I've done. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit. See, that's already poked out. I want that to sit on the silicone mat and finish drying. Okay, let's figure out my sentiment while that's drying. So I just grabbed my Happy Label stamp set and right away I gravitated towards Love You and Miss You. I think that will look good on that glimmer strip. And then I'm going to stamp Life is Better with You. So let's pull that out and get that stamped. I'm pulling out my scrap bits piled up beside me. So because it's photopolymer, I'm stamping on my mat. This block is too big. Let's use this one. And I'm going to stamp this with black. Just going to keep it simple. Actually, no, I'm going to use copper clay, which is kind of the center of the flowers here. Just to do some color coordination. I'm just going to stamp it right here. Whoops. Let's do that again. Much better. So now I'm going to bring in my black and I'm going to stamp Life is Better with You inside the card. Open that up. And I'm going to stamp it right here so that it's hidden behind the flap. So to cut this out, I'm pulling in my Sending Smiles stamp set. I have these dies in here, and look at this nice long one. That is going to be perfect, and then I can trim that out. So I'm going to bring in my mini die cutting machine and whip that through. You can cut this out with your scissors. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can cut it with your trimmer, but I mean, seriously, how perfect is that? All right. Now then, grab my scissors, which I truly don't know where they are. Oh, here they are, hidden underneath all kinds of things. So I'm just going to snip this off at the end like that. Let's bring in my little strip here and see what this is going to look like. I think it's safe to peel it off now. Well, it's a little bit sticky, so I'm going to keep it on there. So let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to do a diagonal just like I have here. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. Gonna line it up. And I'm just kind of making sure I have the same amount of glimmer, top and bottom. I'm gonna hold that down for a minute because glimmer paper doesn't always like glue. But we're not gonna give it a choice. We're gonna hold that for a second. And I'm gonna pop that up onto the card, I think, with dimensionals. So let me grab those while we're waiting for that to dry. In fact, we're just going to set that aside because we need embellishments on this guy. So let's try some different embellishments today. I'm going to use the iridescent pastel gems. I haven't even used these ones yet. Look how pretty they are. So pretty. But I'm going to use, I think, I was going to use the white ones, but I'm going to use the blue ones today. No, I think I'm going to stick with the clearish ones. So I'm going to take a big one. I'm not going to put as many on my card as I did yesterday. I'm going to put a big one right in the center. Pick up a little one. I'm just going to do 3. One on the top and one down below. Alright, let's bring this back in. And we're going to trim this up now. So I'm going to cut right about, well, I'm going to cut right to that U. Right to that white bit, I should say. I don't like that, so I'm going to trim that off too. And I'm going to trim this a little bit right here. And get my dimensionals. So I'm just going to use this little bit on the end. I just wanted to have that extra security of that little border staying on. I mean, it is glued, but there's not like a whole lot of cardstock on those little tips, so that border ain't going nowhere. So we're going to peel this off and stick it on my card, and then we're going to call it done. Call it done. And I have still scraps left over. I've been making scraps with my scraps. I have leftovers from my leftover scraps, so I may speed up the video after this card and show you what I do with those. Okay, let's just stick this on right here. And there's my completed card. Isn't that great? I'm gonna say so myself. Really happy with that. So funny, I even catch myself where I say, and that's it, that's the last step. And then I think for a second, I'm like, no, but wait, there's more. I'm bringing in my clear Wink of Stella, and I'm going over the rest of this dragonfly to add some glimmer. I mean, this is a very glimmery dragonfly, so it needs a glimmery body. That's the trick. That's what it needed, just that little bit. And you know what? I'm going to flip it over because you can see it's just black here. I think I'm going to add glimmer there too. Why? Because I can. Here we go. There. Can you guys see? My camera is at a weird position on the holder, so literally I cannot see the center of what I'm filming, but hopefully you can see what that clear wink of Stella did to that dragonfly. Holy moly! So isn't that a simple card? And again, I've done videos on this card fold before, and I'll put the link down below. It's just a very fun way to do something a little bit different with your cards. All right, let's turn you around again so you can see my mess. See everything? I have all kinds of stuff going on here. And I still have, like, look at my beautiful cards that I made with scraps. Oh my goodness. But I have so many goodies still sitting on this desk that I can create with, right? I've never shown this side of things before. You guys are getting like a hidden look at my disaster at the moment. But you know what? We all have disasters, but they're happy disasters, right? They're happy disasters. So let's see what we've got here. So these bigger pieces, I'm gonna set aside and put those away. I don't want to cut into them today. I'm gonna save those for something else. I want to work on the little bits that are still sitting on my desk. So I'm doing a quick little tidy up. I find I work so much better when my desk is not chaotic. All right, so let's see what we can do with these last bits. I got a little tiny, let me move in here. I got a little tiny dragonfly. I got some dragonfly wings, which I don't know if I'm going to need or not. I have some bits of Designer Series papers here. I have some scraps of black, the black here. Oh, look, we have a couple more strips that I used on yesterday's card left over. And I have these. So I'm going to speed up the camera, and you can just see what I come up with, because I don't even know what I'm going to come up with. It's a surprise. Okay, let's get going here. cards made completely using bits and pieces sitting on my desk, aside from, you know, some cardstock. But this was even a scrap piece, this basic white that has the rope embossing. I had done that for another card and then didn't use it, so that was even in my scrap basket. So there was a lot of bits and pieces used on today's card. So aside from cutting some panels of Designer Series paper, yeah, I am quite pleased with how these turned out, and I hope you got some inspiration on how you can use your bits and pieces at home as well and have lots of fun crafting. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Take care and happy stamping.